What's going on YouTube? So honestly guys, I really didn't want to do this review simply because no, I don't not have time. I have plenty of time to do reviews. This review is number one overdue, but I didn't want to do it because this knife just didn't interest me all that much, to be honest with you guys. But I'm going to do it so that the information's out there and that you guys can make a decision based off of the information I'm going to try and give you via, these talking points. I don't know how long the video is going to run. My camera, like I may have said before, only does 10-minute videos, so there may be multiple parts to this. I'm going to try to keep it within 2 parts. So here we go. Guys, this is the Appalachian Trail Rescue Knife. Got a glass breaker there, partially serrated knife, as y'all can see. Gimping on the top and anti-thumb studs. It's a liner lock, by the way, guys, in case y'all were curious. It is a liner lock. I actually got this as a Christmas present a few years ago, and to be honest with you guys, I carried this knife for a week and I didn't really like it. I didn't enjoy it. Start out with the specifics. As y'all can see, it is a folding knife. The POU would be EDC. If you ever wanted to EDC something like this, I personally would not, and I didn't enjoy EDCing it for the week I was carrying it for this review. Size and weight, I've got the specifics here. I couldn't find them online, so I had to find them myself. So the closed length, like you see here, is 3 5/8 inches. The open length, including the handle and the knife itself, is 6 7/8 inches. The blade length is 3 7/8 inches. And the weight on my scale was 3.2 ounces. So, durability, reliability, it is durable to an extent. It is partially serrated, like I said, so once the knife wears down, how are you going to re-sharpen those serrations? I don't see how you're going to, unless you know how to. I don't know how. It is reliable though for what I did, and I just cut food with it, and I've got paper here, guys. I'll cut for you, paper test. You know, how are you gonna re-sharpen this knife when it goes dull, guys? I just don't know. Unless you can think of some way to do it. Ergonomics, it is ergonomic. It feels the hand well, and it's got a finger choil so you don't go up on the blade and cut yourself. It also has, I'm going to say, good gimping. Not excellent, not perfect, but I can lock my thumb in and do like a sweep if I needed to or something like that. Ease of use comparison, it is easy for me to use. It does have a few downsides, which I'll cover here in a minute. Ease of use comparison rating, I would give it a 10 based off of the fact that it is easy to use, but it has a few ergonomic misses, which I'm going to cover now. Number one, how are you going to carry that in your pocket? You know, how are you going to carry that? Guys, I just don't see how you're going to do that. It's missing a pocket clip, which is a downside. Another downside, at least in my opinion, is this seatbelt cutter right here. Once you use that, guys, to cut seatbelts, cut rope, cut whatever, how are you going to re-sharpen that? You're not going to be able to. The price, this actually came as part of a set. I got a flashlight and a bottle opener along with this knife and a multi-tool. It costs $24 at Lowe's. I checked Lowe's, they don't sell it anymore, so I don't think you'd be able to get this knife even if you wanted to. And guys, I guess, in my opinion, it's kind of a good thing because I found better knives, I think, and I'm going to show you guys some of those right now. So I'm going to unclip you from my tripod. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to unclip you from my tripod and try not to make you dizzy. So give me 1 second. Okay. Alright guys. So I have several different knife options. Some are partially serrated. Again, I don't like partially serrated knives or serrated knives. It's just not what I'm into. So we'll go through these. I have about 4 minutes left before I'll have to do a part 2, so I'm going to try to keep this in one part. First up, the Benchmade 915 Triage, partially serrated in orange and black. I think that's a cool looking blade. The SOG Flash 1 partially serrated knife. The Benchmade Triage, the one you saw earlier, only in satin. There we go. SOG Flash 2, sorry guys, had a brain fart there for a minute. The SOG Flash 2 partially serrated knife in blue. Same knife in Digicam. That's kind of a cool knife, right guys? I wouldn't mind having a knife like that. The same Flash 2 in gray. Flash 2 in yellow, partially serrated. That's a cool knife, guys. This is the SOG Trident. It's kind of like this knife. It's got a rescue cutter right there, as y'all can see. It's in tighter shape. That's kind of cool, but in my opinion, again, it's still partially serrated. That's a cool one too, guys. The Desert Camo, partially serrated with a seatbelt cutter. That's the SOG Trident again. The SOG Trident again in Digicam. That's also a cool knife. I like the handle. Do I like the blade? Not necessarily. The SOG Trident plain edge in satin and black with a seatbelt cutter. I like that one because it's in plain edge, and that's just the type of knife I prefer. And again, you may prefer something different, and that's okay. The SOG Escape, that's a new knife from SOG, I believe. I haven't seen it before. That's partially serrated. It's the only way it comes, and then it has a seatbelt cutter, as with the other knives you've seen. The SOG Escape again in bead blasted finish. That's kind of a cool knife in my opinion. But eventually, you know guys, someone may ask, you know, disabled outdoorsman, what kind of knife would you like out of the ones that you've seen? Or the ones that you've showed us, rather. And that would be this one, guys. I'd want the Benchmade 915 Triage, but in plain edge, black. Now this one, the 915 Triage, has a glass breaker, just like this one. Just like this knife, excuse me guys. And it's in orange and it's black, and I think that's a really cool color combination. So real quick guys, before my time runs out, these knives are pricey. I recommend that if you're going to go buy a knife like the ones I've showed you, you go to midwayusa.com. That's where I'm going to put down in my description. Something else I forgot to mention too about this knife, you could use the glass breaker as a other lethal impact other than using the knife to defend yourself. And that's something I would put in the POU, is defense and EDC. But I don't know guys, I just don't like this knife. So I would go with any of the other knives that I showed you. Again, the Benchmade 915 Triage is my favorite in plain edge, but it's $153 guys. So it's going to be a while before I get a knife like that, I guess. But that's my review of the Appalachian Trail Rescue Knife. Hope you guys liked it. I've got other stuff coming. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the ratings and support. I really appreciate it, and I couldn't do it without you. Thanks, guys.